Hi and welcome to our setup video. This is a setup guide on how to install the new SkyQ style app. In this video I'm going to show you how to get the app, how to install it, how to troubleshoot it and a few tips on using it. So the first thing you want to do is download VLC player. So if you go to the little search icon in the top corner and type in VLC, VLC, select the suggestion underneath, and click download. That will take a moment to install. The next app we need is the downloader app. This app lets you install any third-party app really, so it's quite handy to have. So type in downloader, it comes up straight away, and install that app as well. You can use any web browser. You can just type the link into anything that allows you to download from the internet. Any web browser will do the job. Install that. Open. Click OK on all of them. And then you need to type in the link that your suppliers give you. These links will be different. I'm just going to use a demo link for now, but you will have a link from your supplier or on the setup page of their website. They are usually bit.ly ones. It makes it short and easy. bit.ly/, then whatever they gave you now. I'm going to use this test one, which is your link APK. Your one won't be this. You'll have to get this from your supplier. Press go and it will start downloading automatically. Once this has finished downloading, it's worth coming back into this app later and it will ask you if you want to delete the file. Once you've installed it, you don't need the file anymore. It's just taking up space on your storage. So I always come and delete it after. The problem is if you press delete now and you don't open the app first, it can be quite hard to find the app again. It doesn't put it onto the main screen. It can be a bit of a problem, but if you open it now, then it puts it in your recent apps, so it's there straight away then, which is just an easier way to do things. Okay, now the app's finished installing, just select install. This screen may look different on the older Fire Sticks, but don't worry, it's the same thing. Just press install. Okay, and open. Okay, and you'll have a username and password from your supplier, probably in an email. Make sure you keep it safe. Don't delete the email. Even write it in your phone or something. You will need this in future, so make sure you don't lose it. The username is always your email address. If you have more than one, or you've had more than one test, it will probably have a 1 or a 2 or a number on the end usually. Just depends how your supplier does things. But we're just going to pop this test one in for now. This will expire shortly after this video, so no point trying to type this in. what is it, your email, your email at gmail.com. So that will be your email, obviously. Next, so the password, this is case sensitive, so you will need to put the uppercase and lowercase letters. If you use the button on the remote with the 3 lines on it, it changes it, it basically puts the caps lock on for you, so that makes life a bit easier. So obviously this will be your unique password from your supplier. Capital. So your password. A few tips with this. If you obviously it has to be uppercase and lowercase, it's case sensitive. There is a few letters that can look very similar. The lowercase L and an uppercase I on most email text fonts, it's impossible to tell the difference. The only way to find out is to try both of them. The zeros and the O's can look quite similar, and an O's a lot rounder than a zero. Is the easiest way to tell. And the uppercase K's and lowercase K's can look quite similar as well. So just be careful of that. Make sure if you put it in and you think you've done it right and it doesn't work, just try the other variations of them 3. That usually does the job. But we try to take out the I's and the L's, but that doesn't always happen, so that's just be aware of that. Okay, press next. You can tell it to remember for next time, so you don't have to type it in again, but that doesn't mean you should not keep your details safe, because you will need them again in future. And log in. And it will load all of the VAD and the TV guide and the EPG for you. When it does this, it's only loading from the last settings. This doesn't refresh it. People think that if they open the app again, it's refreshing it every time. It doesn't. It just loads the previous configuration. You have to press the refresh channel in the top corner to refresh, which you will need to do for live events, especially if you want to see the 3 PM kickoff. You have to refresh just before to see the new streams and to see any new VOD. The VOD does tend to load on its own generally, but the channels won't. To do that, you just go to this refresh button here and update playlist. Or if you find your EPGs missing, just update your EPG in there. I would advise doing that daily, really, just because there's so much going on with the server and stuff being added and changed and fixed. You do need to refresh quite regularly. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what happens if you put the login details in incorrectly. So let's just purposely put that wrong. So you'll see this invalid login details. This means you've typed it wrong. Please, so many people email us saying, I've typed it in right and it won't let me log in. We don't send incorrect details. They are copied direct from the server. It would be very unlikely that we've sent you the wrong details, because just the way the system works. If you're seeing this, then either you've typed it wrong or it's expired. The test, 24-hour tests, they go from the 24 hours from when we issued them, not from when you log in. So if you check the time on your email, you should be able to see if that's expired or not yet. Of course, you can order a new one if that's the case, no problem. Just go to the website or ask your supplier, no problem. It is possible at this point to get stuck in a login loop where it keeps just going back to that error. I think this new version of the app doesn't do that, but it definitely did that on the previous ones. But what you can do to get around that, it's quite simple. If you go to settings and applications, manage applications, and find the app and clear the data, then it will clear any login details then and allow you to log in again. Also in here, it's good to clear the cache in here time to time. If you find it's being a bit slow and starting to buffer in and stuff like that, that can mean your cache in here is quite full. Fire sticks especially don't have much cache, so it's important to keep this cleared. So if you press that, you see it's cleared. And I tend to do it on all the other apps as well. I find the screensaver uses a lot. If you look at that, it's on 123 meg, whereas most of them are using like kilobytes. So that's a good one to clear regularly. Just make sure everything runs smoothly. Okay, let's go back to the app. Your app will have a different logo to this. It will have your supplier's logo on. This is just a generic one for the purpose of this video. Okay, log in. Okay, so that's you in now. Really, that's you shouldn't. If you follow them troubleshooting there, you should definitely be able to log in. I'm going to show you a few mistakes people make with using this, and a few things you need to know how to use it properly. One thing people don't realise on this app is they think when they come to the TV guide here that's the TV guide. It's not that. It's just shows the last channels that have been added. If you click on the TV guide, then you can see all the categories properly then. And as you can see, they've all got the EPG in there, all nicely done. You notice it moves it over as well, so you can see a bit better. You have the sports schedule there as well. Gives you an idea of what's on and what channel to look on. This won't cover live event stuff like 3 PM, but all your Sky Sports and BT Sports and stuff like that, it'll tell you what's on and where. Recordings, yeah, you can record as many as you like at the same time from one subscription, which I don't believe any other app can do that. But it only records future events. So say this channel that's on now, this program that's on now, if I long hold on that, it doesn't give you the option to record. But if you go to a future event, you see it as schedule recording. Allow that. That's recording now, and you can set as many as you like, no problem. It'll record them all at the same time, and then obviously it saves them into the record section here. And they're recorded from my old app. Catch up TV there, your different days. We'll be adding a lot more to the catch up coming soon as well. Movies on demand, the same deal as a TV guide. You have to actually click on it to go into it to see all the categories. 4K movies, these will only work if you have a 4K device. So if you've got an old Fire Stick without the volume buttons on it, you're not going to be able to view 4K because it's not a 4K compatible device. But don't worry, we put most stuff in both resolutions anyway. All the new stuff is always in 1080 really. IMDb, if you want to see them in the order that they should be in, if you put it to A to Z and it puts it in order, like that's number 1, as you see it says 001 at the beginning. Same with series. So a few of the settings on here. The general settings, you can click this to start the app when you turn the device on, so it auto loads, or you can turn it off if you find that annoying. I personally have it off, but Smart switches are VPN. You don't need this at the moment. We don't require a VPN, but it's there to future-proof it if we do. Yeah, parental control. So you just set your password in there, and then in the categories, you just lock the ones that you want to lock. So usually adult. And if you want to take it off, you put the password in again, and then just remove the locks off of it, and you'll see them back in the menu then. UI mode, this is just whether you want the side menu to disappear or not. Themes, you can change the colour on it to whatever you want. I'd prefer the blue, but there's a few different ones there you might like. Record path, so if you want to change where it records to, you can there, to an external device or whatever, no problem. Stream format, yep, that should always be done there. Time format. EPG, you can set it so it doesn't show channels that don't have EPG, but I wouldn't advise doing that. You may lose stuff that you want like that. Player select. Player select is very important. You need different players for different things. VLC is generally the best and covers everything. The only problem with VLC is it doesn't allow you to flick through the channels, which is a little bit annoying, but I generally use VLC because it has all the settings that you need for VOD really, and I'll show you them in a moment. Yep, that's about it in the settings. So yeah, with the VLC player, it has a lot of settings you need for certain things, like changing the language. A lot of the 4K stuff has multiple languages, and sometimes English isn't the first one that starts on there. Most of them are, but you may find a couple that aren't, or you may prefer it in a different language. So I'll show you how we do that. If you notice, they all play a trailer in the background as well, which is quite nice. Just turn the volume down. Yeah, and you can favourite them here with the heart there. Just add that to favourites if you like. In series here, you'll see 3 little dots. You click on that, and it will show you all the episodes then. Okay, so you've got a few different things in here. You've got the aspect ratio, which you need sometimes, and then you have audio track. So this has 2 different tracks. You'll find in here that this is where you have the other language. You may have Italian or French or whatever in here. A lot of the 4K does. Yeah, you also have the audio delay, so if you're experiencing sync issues, you can correct for that here. Usually that's down to your router not syncing the packages, and resetting your router may help. Also have you also have your subtitles in here. Some films you need to turn the subtitles off. They may stop the picture from working. I've found that on film. Usually with VLC that's fine. On the built-in player, it doesn't, because it's 2 separate files. It won't play the video file and the subtitle file at the same time. But VLC player can do that. So if you're experiencing that, just set it to VLC really. But you can turn the subtitles on and off. There's various other settings there you can play with, but most of them are in this one. Yeah, so subtitles track there. Especially the 4K generally has subtitles for a lot of different countries in there, which people like. Anything else in there? You can actually download the subtitles as well if you need them. You can search using this and what language you want, which is quite handy, and VLC will find them for you. Yeah, that's about it in there really. Yeah, you have the search function here as well. You do have to go into it if you're on the main page. You see it's not there. Same with the TV guide. You go in. There's the search. Type in the channel you want. Or if you want to search for a movie. That's it. Just type it in there. I think that's about everything really. If you want the adult removed, we can remove that for you. That'll totally take that off. Oh, we have split screen as well on here. If you go to this little square here, select how many screens you want, 2, 4 or 6, and then select the channel you want. And it will play the volume from whichever one the blue box is round. Great if you want to watch maybe Formula 1 with all the head cams, or the 3 PM where there's, they all start at the same time. There's a lot of games on at 3 PM. You can do that. Put some sports in there. You can. Wherever it's gone. Sky Sports. Okay, yeah, put Sky Sports in one like that. And it will play all of them off of one subscription, no problem. You don't need to have a multi-room for that or anything like that. It just all plays from one subscription, no problem. Yeah, I think that's about everything. I hope that helps and you enjoy our app. Thank you very much. Bye.